Good afternoon, everybody. Um, I think we can start the session now. I would request Vikas Jain to please, address our candidates about the orientation happening today. It is with RBL Bank, and I would welcome Vikas to,
Thanks,
lead our
Nidhi.
candidates. Yeah.
Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you so much. So, good afternoon, everyone. It's a privilege to welcome you all to this orientation related to job prospects in RBL. Hope I am audible and clear to all. Yeah.
Yes, you are.
So, thank you for joining this session. Today, we are fortunate to have with us one of the most eminent personality and stalwart in BFSI industry, from RBL Bank. Welcome, Saurav and Sumedha. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Vikas. Thank you for
So,
having us.
yeah, thanks, Saurav. So Saurav is a dynamic and visionary leader with over 2 decades of remarkable success in retail banking across some of the most prominent names in the industry, including Citibank, HSA Bank, IndusInd Bank, and RBL Bank. He's a strategic powerhouse in both assets and liability businesses. He currently is in architecture of Aspire Banking and debit card distribution at RBL Bank, redefining customer engagement and driving transformative growth of the bank. So very few words about Saurav that defines so many things about you, the way you are contributing to the bank and overall uh, uh, economy of the nation. Thank you, Saurav, for having some time for this session. Along with Saurav, we have Sumedha from RBL Bank. Sumedha has nearly a decade of experience in banking. She has worked across roles in investment banking, wealth management, affluent banking, and business strategy. Currently, she is lead in RBL Bank for Insignia, Signature, and Aspire segments. Thank you, Sumedha. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you
Uh,
for having us.
so I request Saurav you to please hold the mic and guide us and enlighten us through this session, orientation, and various opportunities with RBL Bank.
Sure. So, thanks, Vikas, for those kind words. I think they were overrated, but I'll still try to fill in some of the shoes. Uh, so, a big, hi to everybody out here. Very good afternoon. Uh, Maitri, can I just have a ballpark? How many people are there attending this session? How many candidates have come
Yeah,
across?
we have 40 people attending it currently.
Cool. Sounds good. So, let me give a bit of a brief about what RBL Bank is and what we stand for, and then I'll get a bit more into what is this, what is Aspire Banking all about, and what it means in terms of a career development for people who will be joining us. Okay. Uh, yeah, a lot was said about, Vikas was kind enough to give an introduction. Uh, I have been, although for the last 10 years with RBL Bank. So I've been with RBL Bank since 2015. RBL Bank was incorporated in the year 1943. It was incorporated majorly in Kolhapur and Sangli. It was a very regional bank at that point of time. And it's only much later in 1969 that we became a proper scheduled commercial bank. Today, RBL Bank is one of the leading private sector banks in the country. We have close to around 14.3 million or around 1.43 crore customers that we are managing across 552 bank branches. We also have close to almost 2,000 business correspondent branches as well. These are called BC branches. These add to our distribution network with around 400 odd ATM network across the country. We primarily operate across 5 verticals, namely corporate banking, commercial banking, branch and business banking, which is the vertical that I belong to, me and Sumita are here for. And of course, then there is retail assets. And finally, there is treasury and financial markets. I have been fortunate enough to be a part of both retail assets and the business and branch banking unit for RBL Bank. And one good thing about RBL Bank is we do give a lot of also. In the last 10 years, I have had 4 roles, and at senior management, I don't see too many banks giving that. So we have a very robust IJP process also. So, once you've completed an X amount of time and if your performance is good, you can actually move across the bank also in different verticals. So that's something, but we'll come to that a little later when we are talking more across about what RBL, what lies in terms of opportunities for you. Now, let me come quickly towards Aspire Banking. Uh, so we have three layers of. So Aspire Banking is basically the first layer of affluent banking. Okay, and Sumita, you wherever you feel free, please push in. I'll just give a brief about Aspire Banking. Maybe you can talk a bit more about the role and what we want and how exactly we want them to inculcate. So, firstly, foremostly, as I said, this is the first entry point. Now, what do I mean by that? We are basically managing customers in that 5 to 10 lakh, relationship value bracket. This is perhaps the most important bracket for the bank. We are managing the Aspire book overall will have around 3.5 lakh odd customers, and these are all portfolio customers. So basically, you're part of a portfolio banking, affluent banking, as I said. And today, as we talk, we have 450 plus Aspire RMs managing these portfolios, and the ask is to take this to around 550. So clearly, as we are expanding our branch banking network, we also have realized that we want to expand the Aspire banking portfolio. So, that's where this audience comes across. And we basically want, competitive, but people who are new to the market, who want to make a career, because we clearly recognize that we want to give opportunities. We also are a bank which is very much into diversification. So we actually requested Finex and Maitri that we wanted a women's batch, because that's one of the things we are really very keen on. uh, and while we are doing this, of course, Sumita will now take you through as to what exactly the role curtails and what is there in terms of your career advancement. Okay, Sumita.
Yeah. Hi everyone, this is Sumita Chatterjee. Hope I'm visible.
Hi, Sumedha.
Hi. So Saurabh made a very interesting point about the entry point to affluent banking or relationship banking. So what I'll do is I'll just quickly explain. Relationship banking is basically the the more advanced or the more evolved form of banking where we are looking at the top customers. So if the audience thinks of a pyramid, imagine the top end of the pyramid to be the ultra HNI, so the Mukesh Ambanis of the world. They are always addressed by the private banking business. After that comes the HNI, which are the people who have, say, for example, they have a say 10 to 100 crores of net worth. That comes under our HNI banking. Then there are people who have something about, say, anything between a 7 to 10 crores or maybe a 1 to 10 crores of net worth. So these are your rich, the premium customer, which is what Aspire looks at is the segment after that. So why this is the most exciting segment to work in is because these are the people who have newly made their money. They are extremely aspirational, hence the name is also Aspire. These are people who have, say, draw salary of around 1 to 1.5 lakhs per month. So you can imagine these are your up and coming executives in large organizations. These are highly aspirational people. They are new to this world, premium relationship banking. This is the great thing. Why? Because this customer is not used to the privileges of private banking. They are not used to having a very tailor made banking program. They're not used to having a relationship manager who is a single point of contact for them. What they have is multiple aspirations. They are brand conscious. They want to have a banking relation which also enhances their lifestyle experience. It is a great role for a relationship manager here because, first of all, you are giving a service where the customer is new to it. They have not experienced it before. Second of all, you are introducing the customer to a world of benefits which is given by banking as well. Because today, if you look at a mass customer, they will never think that banking can also give you, say, access to premium lounges, say, access to your best domestic international airport lounges, lifestyle benefits, say, movie vouchers, and also wealth. Also, business solutions. These are not things that you think of when you think of branches, because you want to go in, you want to have a transactional relation, and you come out. Relationship banking is far beyond transactional relations. It's about family, it's about your business relation, and this is segment they are experiencing it for the first time. So you would be the customers first in terms of relationship banking. So that way, I feel this is like an amazing role to be in, especially in the start of the career, because not only are you learning it, you're also growing with the customer. Secondly, as Saurav mentioned, that RBL is a great place for growth. So as your customer grows in affluence, so can you grow in your career. So you can start as an Aspire relationship manager. You can actually move up the pyramid of relationship banking and become relationship managers for other verticals, like for example, signature banking, insignia banking. There are other trajectories of growth within the sales. Also, you can grow within the central team as well. That is a little bit about Aspire and relationship banking. Couple of things I sort of mentioned about RBL. I am very new to it. I have been 3 months into the system. One of the best things that I noticed in RBL is that as a bank, it listens to you. You could be the youngest person in the room. You could be the only person from a particular background in the room. And background by background, I mean, it could be anything. It could be because of gender background, it could be socioeconomic, it could be the place you come from. No matter what, there is never going to be any sort of discrimination. There is never going to be any sort of writing off that this person may not know, or this person does not have, or is not adding to the value. You will be treated equally as everybody else. And whatever points somebody makes here, it is listened to, and it is listened to with utmost seriousness. I have spent 3.5 months in this organization, and I am actually pretty amazed by the fact that nothing has I have never had a incident or a situation where I felt that I am not being taken seriously, my points are not being listened to. On the contrary, because often you will see that you will, if you are new, you will have a lot of different views, because that is what is expected from somebody who is new into a system. That is appreciated. People will actually like the fact that you have something new to bring to the table. So, sort of, if you would like to add something to that.
No, so that's perhaps one of the reasons I wanted Sumedha to be here, because as she said that she's new to this bank, she's not new to banking, and she has been in the affluent banking space. So I thought it would give a good perspective to a lot of people who are thinking about starting a banking career. Okay, uh, the thing is, at the you all of you who are here, you're at the cusp of the start of your career, and I remember maybe more than 2 decades back sitting on the other side, not very sure of where I was, having a lot of aspirations, but पता नहीं था करना क्या है. एक आइडिया था कि अच्छा करना है. Okay, the thing is that at that point of time, getting into the right space is very important. Okay, uh, the affluent space, or the space where Sumedha mentioned, that 1 to 2 lakh salary, or maybe a new business, these are the people who are maybe in a similar thought process as you are, just they are a little ahead in life. What they want is कि क्या हमारी कोई सुन रहा है. Like, you will be coming across into an organization saying, what do I have, what can I do. So if you understand that and you marry both those things, ki you want to do well, see, understand one thing. Today it's a very clear cut, let's say an RM, and I'm now getting a little bit into specifics. Every RM has around 150 to 200 groups. I'll not get into too many technicalities, groups kya hai, customers kya hai, but let's say you have 150 to 200 groups. The idea is you should be able to meet and talk with each and every one of these people. Okay, so clearly what we want is people who are conversationally. और एक बात मैं आपको clearly बता देता हूँ, I've seen a lot of people whose English is very good, but they don't connect with the customer. Okay, what you need is to communicate well. Language is one of the things. Okay, a customer beyond, I know of an insignia RM who might not be the best in English, but is one of the top insignia RMs for us. And customers will swear by him. आप उसका portfolio swap ही नहीं कर सकते. कोई साउथ मुंबई का बेस्ट ऑफ कस्टमर्स विल से मेरे को इन्हीं के साथ काम करना है. So how well you communicate, how you go across to a customer, आप कितनी बार उसको मिलते हैं, आप उसके फैमिली बैंकिंग आज, if let's say I have Vikas's account with me but I don't have Vikas's wife's account or family account, that account is not enriched. As soon as you get 2 or 3 or 4 accounts, that's when that starts becoming a real group, and that's why I said groups. Okay. And the good part is, this is not a place where we will tell you that bahar jao aur lekar aao. We are already allocating this to you on day one. Of course, there'll be trainings and all of that stuff, but you have a group of customers, and your primary role is to actually contact them, meet them, go talk with them. And one of the most important things that we drive in our day-to-day lives is contactability. How many times did you meet that customer? And believe me, people who are meeting their customers are the ones who are doing well.
Yeah.
Because right now, again, as I said, I'm not asking you to go door to door. What I'm asking you to do is giving you a customer whom we have already identified as affluent. What we want is you call across, set up an appointment, meet them. And if you can communicate with them, customers understand. All customers are very savvy. Every customer will be banking with 2 or 3 banks. Okay, today there is nobody who banks with only one bank. Maybe I'm a little bit of an exception. Last 10 years I've become very RBL domesticated, but most people will have 3, 4 banks, right? आपको वही करना है कि आपको कितना चंक मिल सकता है ऑफ दैट बैंकिंग स्पेस. It could be in terms of a credit card, it could be in terms of a debit card, it could be in terms of a loan, it could be in terms of a daughter's first account, it could be in terms of an SIP. It's as simple and as basic. And believe me, we've seen the number of, so there is this concept of how many what's the count of products that one customer holds. It's called product holding. Okay. And as soon as the customer is 5 phi product holding above, that customer is yours. Okay. So these are the interesting things. So see, what we actually are looking for are people who are curious. Okay. People who want to make a difference in their lives. At the same time, they're wanting to create a difference in the customer's life. Okay. And people who are not who are open to communicating with their customers, who can go across and meet customers with confidence, and basically can, beyond a point of time, once you've met, you'll realize that there are cross sell opportunities. What can you do? How can you get more of the customer's wallet share to the bank? All of those things are the main basically what this role curtains. Again, I would say it's a dynamic role. It's a role where if you are my biggest thing is how well can you communicate across with your customer. If you can communicate, if you can touch base with your customers on a regular basis, that's the most important quality. I don't care how well somebody talks in some language. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है. जो बॉम्बे के हैं उनका lot of people will be Marathis. I have customers, I have Gujarati customers who call me and they expect me to say Jai Shri Krishna to them. They and it's become a thing that some of them actually pick up these days and say JSK. They don't
Right.
even say Jai Shri Krishna, but that has to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, so those are small things which you will pick up. Okay, but I also have Gujarati customers. I'm a Bengali and I have a Gujarati customer, and we talk in whatever, and the business happens because that person sees value add in me, and I see a relationship building. आपको रिलेशनशिप बिल्ड करना है. कस्टमर्स हम आपको ऑलरेडी दे रहे हैं, आपको मिलना है इनको और इनसे और चर्न करनी है चीजें.
I'll add two stories here. These are these two RMs whom I have admired for almost half of my career. Both of them are private banking RMs. The reason I want to mention these stories is this is relationship done right. So one of them, this guy, he he's a subject matter expert when it comes to wealth. He really understands the most difficult of financial instruments. But one thing I used to notice on his calls that this guy used to proactively talk to all his customers whenever there was a market movement. He would not just call to say that, there is a new product in the market, sir or madam, invest. He would call and say that, okay, this has happened in the market today, Nifty is 200 points down, please hold on ABCD things, D and E, you are already invested at a very small scale, so you don't have to worry, it has corrected right now, but it will not affect your portfolio. He would do that. He would call and tell people ki don't worry, market is down. He would call people when the market is up and say that, remember, I had sold you ABC, this time the market, I think for this product it has reached its peak, you can actually exit it. What happened was the customer started feeling, okay, this guy does not just call me when he wants business, he's actually caring about me. But what he is doing is something very intelligent. He is building something that is the most core thing of relationship banking, that is trust. You get trust, you have everything, because we are dealing with financial products, and this is the most important thing for us. So that guy's way of building trust was he used his knowledge and he did it for free. He did not call customers just because he wanted money at that point of time. He played the long game, and that long game actually works out really well, because what happens is that he started handling customers who started moving all their monies into the place that he worked for. So you would know, like Saurav is saying, that nobody works or nobody banks with a single bank. They will bank with multiple banks. What we want is a massive amount of the pocket share of that customer, wallet share, you can call it. He was getting that wallet share because people were like, okay, different bank guy only calls me when they want business. This guy is calling me and saying ki ab mat daro, hold tight, or abhi is a good time, you should sell this. He's not making money out of it. So next time I want to do something, I'll call him. That was the first guy's strategy. The second was this lady, and she's actually a good friend of mine. She, I found, is the most crazy person when it comes to relationship banking. She spoke hours with clients on everything but banking. She knew every client, every family member. She knew when somebody was going to get married or next year. She knew what venues they are looking at, what caterers they are booking, and everything. She would find out that her certain client is going expecting a grandchild within couple of days. She would send the flower and cake. And how I know is this: I was in the central team. This lady was in the sales team. She would write to her cluster head that she would need certain vouchers to send to our client because they would have a baby next week, and we would be shocked that ki, how do you know that the client is going to have a baby next week? That was her connect. सबका सब कुछ वो जानती थी, and she would take calls even in the evening. She would take calls when it was her way of working. She would talk to clients about the vacation she's taken, the places she's visited. What happened was they all thought of her as कि हमारे घर की लड़की है. Again, huge amount of trust and affection. What that does is that she never had to ask for business. She already knew, and the clients would not call their other bankers because they were like, "Ki, this is like a relative who understands banking, so why not?" And we are Indians, so the good part of Indian is that ki, we are very emotional about our money, and we are very emotional about family. So you become like family to somebody, then their entire wallet share is yours. So over to Saurabh.
So another, like Sumita just said, one more interesting incident. I am talking about myself. I was a wealth manager in Citi, long time back, and in 2007 the markets fell. I'm not sure a lot of this audience would know it, but 2007 the markets really tanked because of a lot of
Global issues.
issues that were there in the US market at that point of time. And being a wealth RM, I had got so much money of my customers invested. And in like literally in 3-4 days, half of what they had invested had gone. And I used to have my customers call me, some of them, and this, all of you have to keep in mind, some of them were outright abusive. मैंने अपना 1 करोड़ डाला 50 लाख हो गया. You'll not feel very happy about it, right? The one thing that I did was I said, hold, don't sell. Okay. The markets have reacted. Indian markets में कुछ problem नहीं है. The markets have reacted because obviously US is the largest economy. 90% of my customers listened to me. They held on to that money, and in a year's time, the market was again at an all-time high. Okay. The 10% who didn't actually called me back and said we should have listened to you. So relationship management is about the fact that if you have a connect with the customer and if you have confidence in yourself, you will, sooner or later do well. I also wanted to bring one small point. I was looking at the last quarter numbers, and 10% of the RMs, so around 40 odd RMs, have actually earned an quarterly incentive of a lakh and above in Aspire. Okay, but these are people who have been there for a year and above. So it is also, as I'll take that word from Sumedha, it's a long game. If you're come into this saying that I want to learn, I want to meet new customers, I want to do new things, and if you do that well, some people take 6 months, some people take 8 months, some people take year. But we have seen people who are stuck with us for more than a year, they automatically start earning good amount of money. And I'm talking about incentives. So as I said, I have in the last quarter around close to around 35 odd people who have earned a lakh plus incentive in a quarter, which is almost 35,000 in a month. Okay, I'm not saying this is what you will get. It's completely performance based. But people who have been there and who have understood what is to be done, because today you're not just getting, we have a scorecard, so it's very transparent. What you will earn is basically in your hand. Okay, at the beginning of a quarter you get a scorecard which says आपको इन 6 चीजों पे ये करना है, आपको बाकी के इन चीजों पे ये चीजें करनी है, फिर आपको बूस्टर्स मिलेंगे अगर आप ये चीजें कर रहे हो. द स्मार्ट वंस दे कैलकुलेट एंड वी सेंड अ कैलकुलेटर ऑल्सो. वो कैलकुलेट करते हैं, वो लड़ते हैं हमारे साथ सेंट्रल ऑफिस में कि भाई मेरा इतना बन रहा था, आपने इतना. So that's how you should be. And I have been an RM. Sumedha's been an RM. We've all done that. I remember in city when I was an RM, I used to, literally have this thing कि how much have I got? Because I had this plan कि मेरे को ये चीज चाहिए. Okay. So be competitive, be passionate, be very open-minded, and most importantly, be communicative and meet your customers. If you can do all of these things, these are very basic things, you will have a good career wherever you are. Okay. uh, I think that's a whole lot about the bank and the role and in general. Any questions, anything, more than happy to take them. Maitri, anyone out here.
Sure, sure. I think the examples that were shared were very interesting to listen to also, and very intriguing to also apply it in our daily jobs as well, because that was quite interesting approach, both the approaches shared by, Sumedha, and as well as from your end, maintaining, and as you said, that a long-term game, because it would not happen, overnight. Obviously, it will take somebody, some time to trust when we are dealing in
तो थोड़ा
finance.
पेशेंस गेम है, मतलब समटाइम never say I don't want any troubles.
Hmm.
What you should say is I should have the patience and resilience to get through those bad times, because everybody will have. Yeah, I've been in hardcore sales roles where I had great years and then I had not a very good year.
Hmm.
The thing is to stick around and you will do well.
Correct.
Problem is don't give up. Okay.
Absolutely.
Good part, because it's a portfolio management role, you already have a portfolio on day one.
Correct.
Right, so that's one thing that you have to remember. A lot of people today are in the pure acquisition mode. They don't get anything. Okay,
Hmm.
that's a tougher role, believe me. And I have done that role. I have been an acquisition person.
Hmm.
Okay,
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
tough. I remember literally going across in Citibank, and somebody, a doctor, had a board saying dogs and Citibankers are not allowed, because he had a very bad, relationship with Citi because of some loan.
Ha,
Believe
ha,
me,
ha.
that doctor took one of the largest loans ever from Citi again. So
Okay.
again,
Right.
it's about having that conviction, and don't get not getting too affected.
Right.
One thing all of you have to remember is it's your work. शिद्दत से काम कीजिए, but don't let it affect you. Criticism is a way of, I might criticize someone, but end of day it's more constructive. I have learned, and believe me, you don't learn from your success, you learn from your failures. तो आप लोग अभी शुरू कर रहे हो अपनी लाइफ, don't be afraid of not falling. You will fall at multiple times and multiple places. It's the ability to learn and not do the same mistake which will lead you forward.
Absolutely true. So, I would keep the floor open to the questions, and feel
Yeah.
free to unmute yourself and, talk it out. because I think Saurabh and Sumedha have been kind enough to explain us everything. So please,
No, it's good. It's always good to, I feel younger when I interact with young people. So it's like I draw energy from them. Uh, I think I'm quite a young person at heart, any which ways. So it's always good when you talk across because, uh, as Sumedha said, we don't want people who have inhibitions. That's the idea of taking new, fresh people. You come
hmm.
with your own ideas, and then you realize over a period of time that you have to marry those fresh ideas with the conventional thing, and have a new path as to how you want to go ahead. But yeah, open house, anybody, any questions, any queries, more than happy to talk across.
So there is a message from Deeksha Malik.
Mhm.
She's asking about the NISM 5A certification, which is mandatory for applying for the job, right?
Correct, correct.
Okay. So Deeksha, yes, you need to have NISM 5A to be eligible to apply for the job.
I'll tell you, this is a hardcore, you cannot do wealth management if you're not NISM certified. So we want people who are NISM certified because uh, it's not an easy thing to do. Hence, we want it to happen while you're coming across because we want, I mean, for me, if you cannot go across and offer even a simple product like an SIP to a customer, then
Mm-hmm.
it's an impediment.
Hmm. Right, right. There's also another question from Amisha asking about the recruitment process. So
Mhm.
I'll just share a few bits from my end, and then you can
Sure.
let me know if anything is missing. So Amisha, we'll be doing the orientation as you're already here. After the orientation, there will be one internal interview that will be conducted from our team. So that if you have any other doubt, query related to the job, we'll also obviously make you understand what will be your activities. We'll do an internal interview, and once you pass that internal interview, we'll pass on your details to RBL, and then they'll be taking it ahead. And with RBL, please guide me sort of how will be the process, like we'll be doing one round, two round, or
So I think what we will be doing is there'll be one round where, so it will completely depend. If it's a larger batch, then maybe we'll have a group discussion and then we'll pick up candidates. So we'll see how the batch comes
mm-hmm.
across.
Mm-hmm.
End of day, the interview round will primarily be one. We'll
Okay.
have maybe a panel of people out there, and that's the standard process how it happens. So you can
Okay.
almost take it at par as with a campus recruitment. That's how
Okay.
it happens across.
Okay, perfect, perfect. So, I hope Amisha, I was able to answer, and Saurabh was able to answer your question. And Sadia, yes, you need to have NISM certificate for it. Um, you can probably, take help from our end and schedule the exam, and we'll help you out in the preparations as well, so that you can be a part in this batch itself. Pratiksha, you are a fresher, and do you have NISM qualification? Have you cleared NISM 5A? If yes, then you can be a part of this particular job.
I'm again saying please look at NISM not as an impediment but as something which will add value from day one. Okay, so that's why we are very insistent that we get NISM. There'll be other certifications that once you join across, we will get done. So IRDA, there are our internal compliances. All of those are very important things, and these only add value to your own CV. So please don't look at it as an impediment. Look at it as something which you have to do.
Hmm.
If you're in the if you're in the banking space, these are basics of portfolio management.
Right, right, right. And I think them clearing NISM would also increase their confidence in pitching the.
Absolutely. Believe me, NISM today is not so. When I had given NISM, I don't know, maybe 20 years back, I'm not exactly remembering. I had flunked the first time.
Right.
Okay, I'm making
Okay.
very honest admission. I had flunked, and that time immediately result aata tha, and 50% was the passing, and I got 49.5. So it was really disheartening. And that time I
Correct.
was working with Standard Chartered,
Okay.
and I, that time it was not as stringent that it is today ki sell karne ke liye, but I actually had to go back to the branch, and I was the only person in my batch who had flunked. And my
Uh-huh.
branch manager was kind enough to say, take a test date next week. And for the next 3 days, she said, you're not going to do anything, but you're going to study. I cleared
Okay.
the next time, but I cleared it with 75. So the thing was, if you prepare well, the first time I was half baked.
Hmm.
Don't get into NISM half baked. Please give it that. So, you know, I would request Maitri that if you guys are also doing this batch, really prepare them well, because the
Hmm.
first time is when everybody comes with the full enthu,
Right.
right? And it's something, if you understand, it will really help you when you're talking to the customer. Now you'll feel that confidence is there in you also, because you would have done a lot of those things. A lot of those jargons that you pick up from NISM
Hmm.
will help you.
Correct, correct. So, yes, I think I agree to it. And yes, Sadia, you will, require an ASM certificate. Before that, you'll have to write the exam. And for that, as Saurabh mentioned, you have to be prepared, right? So you can, leave your number or something, and then we'll connect with you and we'll help you out with the process, right? Um, there is also a question regarding the joining date once the selection happens, and also uh, about the locations. Sort of, if yeah.
So, couple of things. They're obviously looking for hiring from April onwards. So the new financial year is where, see, ideally I would be happy if I can onboard people by March. Also, I don't have any issues in hiring across. We already have a mandate of hiring an X amount of people till March. So I'm very happy to hire everybody by March 31st. Okay.
Hmm.
So it's as quick as you guys can come across your NISM certificate. We have our interviews. Once all of those processes are okay and through, it will not take more than a week to 10 days for the formalities to be done with.
Hmm.
So
Okay.
it can happen. My thing would be, I would want that I get this batch done by 31st of March or before that. Okay.
Okay.
So that's one thing. What was the second question, Maitri?
Yeah, yeah. So the second was also related to the location, that for which locations are we
So
looking?
location, see, it's across Mumbai.
Hmm.
We have Maitri shared some of the location, and we'll try
Yes.
to see. We essentially don't want somebody to go from Borivali to Navi Mumbai, obviously. But you should be, it's Bombay. I travel, take 1 hour to come to office. So, yeah, and believe me, people tell me you're lucky. एक घंटा ही लगता है सिर्फ,
I was
क्योंकि हमें
just
तो दो
about to
घंटा
say
लगता है.
that.
So so you have to be prepared. You have to be local train ready, because that's the fastest way of traveling. And we'll try to fit the best people, right person, right location. We'll try to do all of that. But as I said, we won't do a Borivali to Navi Mumbai. But yeah, if you're staying in, let's say, Borivali, and you have to come across to, let's say, Khar, you should be prepared for it. That's on the same western line. So we'll try to make fit and match.
Arrangements. Right, right, right. Yeah. Perfect. I hope, Ashwini, your question was answered. There's also, Shraddha has been asking that when you, as you mentioned, that there'll be, meetings that they will be conducting with the clients. She has a question that if it will be face to face or on call. And I think, Shraddha, this is where the process or the approach that you want, you can go for, and which works for you the best, right?
No, no, no.
Uh,
So let me just.
oh, all right.
So our preferred way of
Hmm.
communicating with a customer is face to face.
Okay.
Okay. So couple of things, and you have to understand this, Shraddha. Good question. Face these are already qualified customers. They
Hmm.
are keeping an X amount of money with the bank for an X amount of time.
Hmm.
ठीक है. सो दे आर ऑलरेडी, हमने आपको जो, दीज आर क्यूरेटेड कस्टमर्स, ये कस्टमर्स को हमने प्रोफाइलिंग की है. ये कस्टमर्स आपके पास अगर है तो हमें पता है इनके एंटीसेडेंट्स, प्रेसिडेंट्स, हमको पता है इनका घर कहाँ है, ऑफिस कहाँ है. वी हैव द एंटायर थिंग. ओके. एंड दे आर कीपिंग अ डिसेंट अमाउंट ऑफ मनी विद यू, दैट इज व्हाई दे आर क्वालिफाइड. So be rest assured that the customer coming your way is a qualified customer. Now the idea is, and when you come across, that's how we do. There'll be, of course, a week of training, etc. The first point is pick up the phone, call. But the idea is not to do anything on the phone. You are not phone banking executives. The idea is to fix an appointment. Say, I am your new RM. I want to come and meet up with you.
Hmm.
Okay, because it's only when you meet with customers face to face that you get आपको समझ में आ जाएगा when you meet with a customer what that customer is, what that customer wants, and believe me, a lot of customers in the first meeting will say I have issues, but believe me, if you sort out their issues, you will get business.
I want to add something here. When you do face to face, whoever goes to meet the customer, you get a lot of understanding of the customer's way of living, who is there in their family, what car they drive, where they live, because that is very valuable information. Like, for example, you see the customer has kids. Do they have their minor accounts with us, the kids' accounts? We don't know, right? You will find out. If the customer you're going to visit, you're talking to them, understand that when you're on a call, this is something from my personal experience. The calls last from 15-20 minutes, half an hour max. When you meet somebody, it is usually longer, which means that it's not just business you're talking about other things, which is something that I will keep saying, that highlight on talking about other things. Because you'll find out things like if they're going to travel, if they're planning a foreign trip, you have a debit card that you can offer to them. So when you talk, and you talk other than business, and when you're sitting in front of the person and you're talking, you have no idea how many opportunities and doors are going to be visible to you suddenly. So please go meet the customer.
And don't worry, you will make mistakes. It's going to happen. The fun is in the learning curve. Okay, I remember in Standard Chartered, I was a front desk RM. Okay, and there was this gentleman who used to come into office every day, and this was in Delhi, Parliament Street, largest branch of Standard Chartered. And he always used to come in these simple clothes, Kolhapuri chappal, and my the manager customer service always used to personally meet him, make him sit, etc. And one day I asked him, looks like a simple customer. He said, this guy comes in a Merc. Please observe, he has a Montblanc pen which costs 35 to 40,000. Okay, so you will be surprised when and he used to, and I'm talking 20 years back, have a portfolio of around 10 crores in debt. So, you don't, and especially in Mumbai, it is even more apparent. North में तो फिर भी लोग दिखा देते हैं because there is a lot of shosha. In Mumbai, you really don't know who's what.
Right.
It's only when you meet. I have had these, Gujarati Guju customers. Simple guy will walk from, uh, from South Mumbai to his house in Tardeo. The guy is a diamond merchant. First time I met him as a relationship manager. No, I was a branch manager then. First time I met him, after a half an hour discussion, he gave me 20 lakhs in a PMS. That was his first meeting. He said, अच्छा लगा आपसे बात करके, चलिए ये रख लीजिए. But it came to a point that, in 3-4 months when mangoes came into season, he used to call me and say, आपको आमरस पसंद है, चलो आमरस पूरी खिलाऊंगा. So, the thing is, if you, and there are Aspire RMs today here who have reached that level. Okay, whose customers will not even talk to anyone else if they are not there. क्योंकि उन्होंने वो, so that's how you have to that, and it will take time. It will not happen. Your first call might be a mess. हो सकता है आप बोलोगे ये क्या है, मुझे कुछ पता ही नहीं है, which is fine. That's the learning curve. You'll understand by looking at a customer what the customer is. You will start understanding what brands are. All of these are, it's a learning curve. It will come. This is beyond banking. Believe me, you're investing in yourself.
Absolutely.
I have seen Aspire RMs on the first day how they were dressing, and I have seen them in a year's time that they were dressing very different because they were meeting those customers and they realized I have to look a certain way. Right? So it's absolutely fine to be a little nervous. Obviously, we will try that. जब आप लोग आ रहे हो, that पहले कुछ calls में there are some people who are accompanying you, but believe me, it's like you will have to. आपको हम स्विमिंग पूल में डाल देंगे, आपको डूबने नहीं देंगे, but you will have to learn how to do the strokes yourself. Okay, so we'll give you training, we'll give you assistance. End of day, the relationship management I can't build for you. That you have to build.
Absolutely. There's also one question about if the customer database shall be provided or they have to fetch one. And
Again, reiterating, database नहीं है, portfolio है, आपको map होगा. So on the day one that you're there, day one में मतलब it will take maybe a week, 10 days because सारा setup होता है. There is a CRM setup. It's on that So, okay, let me go a little back. You guys are actually joining in on a very exciting time because we have actually done something which is very, very good from an RM perspective. We have launched something called R360. Okay, what that does is when you go into that system, let's say you have 200 customers mapped to you. It will show you un 200 customers mein how many customers are running loans from organization outside of the bank. How many customers you can actually give or offer new loans? How many customers do not have a single FD but they have CASA? How many customers do not have a single TD? So you can actually go across. It will also, when you punch into it on a daily basis, it will tell you in customers का आज birthday है. It so literally there is a system in which if you go across and your face to face contactability also goes in through there. Okay, so आप मिलकर आते हो आपको वहां पे डालना पड़ेगा. That's how we track. So there is a system which is built. Okay, so believe me, it's like if you are curious, that's why I use that word curious. If you remember, you have to be curious. आपके अंदर जिज्ञासा होनी चाहिए कि भाई ये मेरे को पता करने दो मेरे यहाँ पर कितने कस्टमर्स हैं मेरे पोर्टफोलियो में जिनके पास एक भी एफडी नहीं है. एफडी के रेट्स मेरे आर वन ऑफ द बेस्ट इन द इंडस्ट्री. क्यों नहीं है? कॉल करो कस्टमर को, ये मत बोलो सर एफडी क्यों नहीं ली, सर आपसे मिलना था. मिलो, बोलो सर, बातें करो, चाय पियो, देन से सर मेरे बेस्ट एफडी रेट्स है. नहीं नहीं मेरा एक्सिस बैंक, सर एक्सिस बैंक में ये एफडी रेट है, मेरे बेस्ट एफडी रेट्स. नहीं आई एम वेरी हैप्पी विद देम सर, आई एम श्योर यू आर. मेरे आरडीज भी हैं सर, 5,000 रुपए के लिए आप पर मंथ कर सकते हो. मोबाइल बैंकिंग है उसके थ्रू कर सकते हो सर, अभी करोगे तो हो जाएगा. नहीं मेरे ये प्रॉब्लम है. अच्छा सर बताइए क्या प्रॉब्लम है. ठीक है सर, लेट मी कम बैक टू यू. So there is an approach. It's not always about. It's about if you, as I said, communication और बात करने में ना बड़ा फर्क है. You can talk with a person or you can communicate. We don't want you to talk. We want you to communicate. Communication happens best when you meet that customer face to face. Our entire contactability is face to face. We don't care if you're called on a phone or not.
Understood. Understood. And I think this app that you mentioned about the new
App nahi, it's a system.
Okay.
So every RM is given that system access. And the map portfolio comes on there and it gives you everything. It's called 360 because it gives the RM a complete view, a holistic view. It not just talks about business opportunities, it talks about birthdays, anniversaries, it talks about the product holding, it talks about everything.
Perfect.
If you're meeting a customer, let's say, you can actually go into that customer profile. It will tell you customer के पास क्या क्या है और आप क्या क्या दे सकते हो उस customer.
Perfect.
Right? So you can actually take a notation of all of that and go prepared. But again, we'll come to that at a later stage. पहली चीज जाकर ये नहीं बोलनी होती है सर आपके पास एफडी नहीं है, आपके पास आरडी नहीं है, आपके पास एसआईपी नहीं है, सर ये कम्युनिकेट.
Right.
कस्टमर खुद बोल देगा.
Correct. So it acts as an information system. We should be smart enough to understand what information is to be used where.
Correct.
Right.
But again, it's such a good tool that you're not going there. Not only are you not going on a cold call, you're going on a customer who's already a portfolio customer for you. You also know what he has and you also know what you can pitch to him.
Right. Correct. Perfect. Do we have more questions? Please let us know. There is one question about the dress code being, what would be the dress code? That's one of the question. And also, will they be working individually on the targets or will the targets be a team target or similar to that? These are the two questions left.
So, Sumita.
So dress code I will answer. It's a fully business formal dress code. By business formal we mean both Indian and Western, but few things what not to wear. There is
Indian is only for women, huh? So this is a women batch.
This is a women batch, yeah.
But please understand when we mean Indian formal as well, we specifically do not mean festival wear or shadi wale kapde.
Right.
No fancy colors, no glitter, no such. This is a very formal, this is a bank. We are representing a bank. So we should be always dressed in a very formal attire. So by formal attire, we mean that we will be circulating that also actually once a.
So Sumita is actually working on a project on this. So net, a salwar kameez is formal, but it cannot be a sharara. So we have a proper dress
Yeah.
code. What kind of clothes, what kind of colors.
Yeah.
Obviously, the colors should be muted,
Muted,
etc.
neutral colors.
But nothing that most of you will not have.
Yes.
I think it's easier for women, in fact. For men, it's a little more. Actually, it's more straightforward. Men don't have that many choices. But women, simple. You can wear a pant and trouser and shirt. You can wear a salwar kameez. You can wear a sari. But it has to be. It cannot be very bright. It cannot be festive.
Yeah.
Those are the broad contours. And plus, Sumedha is actually working on some unique things that Aspire RMs will get,
Yeah.
in terms of maybe brooches, brochures, stuff like that,
Yeah.
which make you stand out also. So
Yeah.
all those things are also being worked out, but the clothes have to be formal.
And nobody has to worry. We will be circulating a
Ha.
very detailed dress code where everything from like shoes to clothes to colors to styles, all of that is mentioned. That will be
Net
circulated.
salwar kameez chalega, but I'll again tell you, I have seen in a year's time a lot of RMs, the dressing code and style completely changes.
Hmm.
Because as I said, this is also going to be for a lot of you a lot of exposure. Okay, when you will go and meet up with a customer on the 20th floor of a corporate office like
Hmm.
this, you'll suddenly start attiring yourself in a certain way because you'll realize that's how it will be. But to start off with, it's simple. Salwar kameez always works, pant shirts always works. Okay, just keep it simple. डेनिम सैटरडे के लिए होता है या फ्राइडे, मतलब डेनिम वेनिम नहीं चाहिए. यूर इन कस्टमर मीटिंग रोल्स, यू कैन नॉट बी ऑन डेनिम्स.
Sports shoes and all.
स्पोर्ट्स शूज नहीं चलेगा,
हाँ.
स्नीकर्स नहीं चलेगा,
Agreed.
कॉलेज नहीं है.
Understood. Understood.
And as far as targets are concerned, you are an individual RM, you have individual targets. The money also that you get is individual, किसी को बांटना नहीं पड़ेगा.
All right. Perfect. So I think Diksha wants to unmute herself and ask a question. Diksha, you can please go ahead.
Hi everyone, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Uh, so my name is Diksha, so I want to ask few questions.
Hmm.
First of all, I would like to say that currently I'm working with ICICI Securities from the
Okay.
last 6 months. But
Okay.
after listening to this meeting, I'm like, yeah, I can explore. So like currently I am like studying for NISM Part 7, which is of securities and operations. But I just wanted to ask like that you said the joining process will be in the month of March and April, right?
Hmm.
So I can, if I want to join RBL, so I can do the preparation of NSM 5A, and I can like connect to Maitri ma'am and I can apply for this role, right? Like
देखिए
I
आप
have enough
NISM,
of time.
मेरे को एक चीज समझ नहीं आई, आप NISM सर्टिफाइड हो, हाँ या नहीं?
No, NSM 5A, I have not cleared it.
Okay, I don't exactly understand NISM 5A, but okay, cool. But आप सिक्योरिटीज में हो तो जनरली वहां पर NISM चाहिए होता है. सी आई एम अगेन सेइंग, कब तक ज्वाइन करना है एक्सेट्रा ना, आई थिंक these are very open-ended items. If we get us good batch, we can make them join immediately. NISM के लिए जो भी नहीं है has to prepare, has to clear. We will
Yeah,
not
so
even interview people who are not NISM certified, or at least हमारे पास ये आ जाए कि रिजल्ट पास आ गया. आपके पास
Hmm.
कोड नहीं आया, that is fine, that is okay.
Hmm.
So like you said that you will be like conducting interviews in the March of April, in the month of March and April. So I am just
I can
asking
be
like I
conducting
have
interviews in the month of February also. It completely depends on when Maitri comes back and says मेरे पास batch ready है.
okay. I was just like I need time to prepare for the NSM, na? That's why.
Absolutely okay. So that's what I'm saying. Uh, when and how the batches will be created is more of Finex and Maitri and people who will come back to us. We are open, and we already have mandates to hire.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay.
So to answer this, Diksha, my request is if you could share your number with me, I can help you in the NISM process. And yes, you would require some time to prepare for NISM 5A, but it would not be a lengthy process also. So we can fit you in the first batch, provided you share your details and we'll connect with you.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah, perfect. Do we have any more doubts? We'll keep it open for one more question, and then I think we can wrap it and we can take all the questions offline. Um, I think we don't have any further questions. Yeah.
Cool.
Uh, yes, Saurabh, you were saying something?
No, so I happy to interact. As I'm saying, this is the first step towards affluent banking. Uh, what we are looking for are young, curious people who are willing to communicate, who are willing to learn and add value to themselves and add value to the customers and basically earn good money. I mean, end of day, it's incentive के लिए काम कर रहे हैं अभी आप. You have to work very hard for your incentives to reach the stage of bonus. Right now, you're in that stage of incentive. We all have been. I have been. अच्छे से काम करेंगे, do well, earn, learn, and invest in yourselves. Rest, sky is the limit.
Absolutely, absolutely. Perfect. So thank you very much, Saurabh. Thank you very much, Sumedha. It was lovely meeting you. And I will come back with the batch,
Sure.
soon. And thank you. See you again. Thank you, participants as well. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Vikas.
Thank you.
Thank
Take
you.
care. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Maitri. Thanks, Saurabh.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you,
Vikas.
Nida. Thank you so much.